I'm going to explain an action drama comedy film called Big Brother. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. To Hong Kong after serving in the US military for years. Looking to start a career as a teacher, he goes to his former school, Tak Chi Secondary. The principal notes that he doesn't have experience in teaching, but after being shown a recommendation letter from a higher official, he is given the job. Before Henry leaves, the principal informs him that the class he is assigned to teach is one of the worst in the school. The morning of his first day at school, Henry walks into the class to see that it is an absolute chaos. Some students are sleeping, others are singing, some are playing video games, while a good number of them are cooking ramen on a portable stove. Even after the teacher walks in, they completely ignore him and continue what they are doing. Henry tries to get their attention, but they pretend to not hear him. He gives up on trying to divert their attention and goes around the classroom commenting on the things they are already doing. The students who are cooking are asked to eat less ramen because it contains too much sodium. Henry then approaches a guy named Zufa playing ukulele and helps him with it. Similarly, he warns a gamer kid against the radiation he might receive from staring at the screen all day. Geez, if that's a real thing, then it's too late for all of us anyway. When the students finally start listening to him, he introduces himself and writes his name and phone number on the board. The students laugh because his handwriting is ugly. Then, someone from the students calls him and asks him to leave the class, but Henry laughs it off. The kids ignore him yet again and continue with the activities they were doing before his arrival. Having enough of it, Henry uses a rubber band and piece of chalk to trigger the fire sprinkler in the room. The students quickly spread out to keep themselves from getting wet. He finally gets their full attention and officially welcomes them to his class. Go home! Welcome to my class! After class, a group of 5 lowest-ranking students gathers in the sports supply room to smoke. The leader of the group, Jack, has a crush on an A-grade student from another class. The others find him staring at her picture and make fun of him. The group has a rivalry with the rich and spoiled kids from the school's basketball team. They enter the supply room and mock Jack, as usual, because he is poor. Later, the basketball team is practicing, while Jack and the group watch them from nearby. Jack drops a bottle on the court, which causes the team leader to fall. The group laughs, but is given detention by the school's English teacher, Miss Liang. To avoid detention, they play a prank on her and run away when she is busy cleaning her desk. Elsewhere, the school's principal is distressed because the education board is planning to deduct 20% of their annual funding. The people from the board come to take a tour of the school to inspect where the funds are being used. At the same time, Henry enters the classroom where the students have set up a bucket of water to prank him. But his reflexes work faster than the falling bucket, and he is able to push it away. The students who had been waiting to make fun of him are left shocked. Henry asks for Jack's packet of cigarettes, knowing that he smokes. Jack simply hands him the pack, curious as to what he is about to do. Then, Henry asks Zufa to name the 3 ingredients that are in a cigarette. When he answers the question correctly, he is allowed to skip class for the day. Everyone starts to bang on their desks, demanding that they should get to skip class as well. When they stop, he hands them all a cigarette and asks them to analyze it. Henry knows that if he simply mentions the effect it has on their health, they won't take it seriously. So, instead, he asks them about the outcomes of smoking cigarettes and explains how tar forms in their lungs. For the first time, they pay attention to the teacher and are actually interested in learning. After the bell rings, he asks them to return the cigarettes, and the students reluctantly agree. That day, in the cafeteria, the captain of the basketball team makes one of Jack's friends, Bruce, trip on his leg. This gives rise to an argument between the groups, which soon turns into a fight. They throw food and tables at each other, destroying the place. Later, Henry is informed that 5 students from his class have been temporarily suspended for starting the fight. Henry finds Jack fighting his opponent in the hallway and stops them. On being asked to calm down, Jack accuses the school of being unfair because the rich kids get no punishment. That day, after school, Henry goes through the files of all 5 students to find out more about them. The first guy is named Zufa, the son of a Pakistani immigrant who is always discriminated against because of his race. He is often accused of stealing by the policemen in his neighborhood. Zufa's only wish in his life is to become a musician. The second student is a girl named Danan. She was a disappointment to her father ever since her birth because he always wanted a son. Her entire life, Danon has been trying to gain her father's respect. She even cut her hair to a shorter length and played with cars to pretend to be a boy. Yet her father doesn't care about her, while he treats her younger brother like a prince. Then there are brothers named Bruce and Chris. Their mother ran away with a man when they were only kids, which turned their father into an alcoholic. The brothers only had each other to rely on while growing up. Bruce became obsessed with video games to escape reality, while Chris worked hard in a grocery store to make money for the family. Lastly, Henry can find no information about Jack's family background. In the following scene, we see Jack working at a restaurant as a waiter. An MMA bettor, Jian Yang, arrives at the restaurant with his business partners. When Jian Yang isn't looking, Jack steals his fancy lighter, but is caught. Jian Yang's men beat him up as he checks Jack's ID. After finding out that he is a student, he gives some money and offers him a job as their food delivery man. Somewhere else, Henry visits Zuffa's home and finds him running away from his father and his associates after stealing a ticket. He helps him at first, but after finding out why he is being chased, he takes the father's side. Then, he and Zuffa come to hang out at a bridge. To motivate Zuffa into doing whatever he wants, Henry sings with a band performing in the streets. Seconds later, Zuffa joins him and sings in front of people for the first time since being bullied at school years ago. Meanwhile, Bruce and Chris's father comes home late, like always, and orders them to bring him a beer from the store. When the brothers refuse, he yells at them to get out of his house. The next day, Henry meets with their father and convinces him to go to rehab for his son's well-being. In the meantime, Danon's father brings her a bag of makeup products and asks her to act like a girl for once. Danon is furious at him for always making her feel like she is not good enough. She applies the makeup on her younger brother and sneaks out of the house with the car key. She is about to drive away in her father's car, but is stopped by Henry at the right moment. He tells her that driving without a license is illegal and suggests an alternative. Following that, they go to a go-kart racetrack. Henry also invites her father and makes them race. The father and daughter show no mercy to each other during the race and eventually end up outside the track. Suddenly, Danon's go-kart is hit by a vehicle, but she manages to dodge it. Unaware of this, her father cries, mourning his daughter's death. Danon realizes that he does in fact love her and hugs him. The next day at school, Bruce and Chris, along with a group, are sent to a rehabilitation center to interview a recovering alcoholic. They are surprised to see that the person they have to interview is their father. The students ask him how he started to drink. The man answers that he loved his wife dearly, but she left him at the lowest point of his life. Hence, he started to drink and forgot that he had 2 kids to take care of. The man doesn't reveal that Bruce and Chris are his sons, but apologizes to them. By the end of it, the brothers are left crying.